Welcome along. This is another in the Cumulus Virtual Summit for 2021. I'm David Beard. I'm the CRM Principal with Sage Technologies, where I work to support the education and promotion of the Sage CRM product. Call me an evangelist if you like. I convey what I believe are the business values of investing in CRM, and I articulate those sorts of stories through conferences like this and also online at Talk CRM with Twitter and also on the Sage CRM community. So this session, adding CRM to your account system and why it matters, is directed to you if you're considering what to do about CRM in your business and understanding the benefits of linking front office systems with back office processes and transactions. Whether you're in a membership business, a widget business, a services business of any sort, it's thinking about how your processes link from front to back office and where the tools in CRM to do marketing, sales, and service could help you out and make more of the underpinning financial system. I'm trying to show you how a 360-degree view of your business makes sense to you in 2021 and beyond. So your Sage accounting software is key to business management, but much of that business management done in the financial system is, I would contend, rear view material, looking back at history. Sure, I know there are plenty of you that use things like the current status of warehouse stocks and things like that. But by and large, most people's accounting system is viewed as what we've done, what we sold, where we sold it, the volumes, those sorts of things. Things that have happened or need to have happened in the transactional side of business. So my question to you and the thinking cap I'd like you to put on for the next 14 minutes or so is, what about everything else that happens in your business? The way you go to market, the way you find, acquire, and sell to customers through marketing, sales, and service processes, respectively. So I want to share with you really how a CRM system, customer relationship management system, can help you save time, paperwork, and provide you with that greater visibility, that 360-degree view that is often touted, to give you much better control about your people, the processes, the data, and the KPIs you're expecting your business to hit or be monitored throughout the months and years of your business. And I'll give you a quick overview as well as part of this discussion about why we do what we do and how we think what we offer to market is important to help you investigating CRM for the first time to meet those demands. Now, remember, what I'm talking about here in the next few minutes is not a matter necessarily of hardware, IT, software, and it's not a technology decision. It's about helping you work more effectively and growing your revenues by adding, I would contend, adding CRM to your accounting systems. I'm helping you design even more success and management into your business beyond the transactional material that your accounting system does now. And it's about those front of house activities, the marketing, sales, and service in whatever line of business you're in. So to my mind, and for those of you that have seen me speak or write before, you know that I very much view this as an approach or a strategy. Sure, there's a product and it'd be great if you bought CRM from us, that's fine. Equally, there are plenty of other good CRM tools around, but it's the strategy and the decisions you make around how to implement to get your functional areas performing the way you want them to be, and how you can use those performance measures, those data capturing improvements to make better decisions with all that information in one place for all of your teams, whatever they do. So the main components of CRM are really building and managing customer relationships through the marketing, sales, and service functions of your business. Now, you might well call them something else, depending on what business you're in, but essentially, most businesses have some way of finding, delivering, selling activities to or through, and then looking after customers at the end. And CRM gives you a way of observing those relationships, managing those relationships as they pass through those distinct phases of your business. The way you would approach and talk and send information to a customer you're looking to acquire is probably very different to the way one that you're looking after at the other end of the cycle. So let's talk first of all about some familiar challenges that our customers around the globe tell us about, because I wanted to give you a feel for, are you in the same sort of zone as some of the surveys that we use from our wide-ranging base around the world? Are you in the same place? We've conducted over the years various surveys in North American, UK, and Asian territories. We sell this product around the world. And what they found are the following sorts of features. Many companies still have a challenge in organizing company data. That's data about their customers, their prospects, their selling, that sort of thing. 42% of Sage Accounting users talk about this idea that they feel there's a lack of communication between teams, that there's a lack of insight or across or access to across the whole business. So if a customer you're dealing with is moving from a marketing to a sales function inside yours, details are lost, nuances are lost, data is rekeyed, lost, maybe rekeyed incorrectly because they're in different spreadsheets, maybe in different point solutions. There's a bit in accounting, there's a bit in a contact management tool, and so on. And that's a real issue because that then, particularly the latter point, leads to this idea of tracking sales. There's a challenge in tracking sales. 61% of our users that surveyed in that sort of small, medium business segment indicate an inability to track leads effectively. So from a marketing perspective, that's we don't know where the money we're spending hits the ground. Are we advertising in the wrong place? Do we spend 50% somewhere that doesn't give a return? As well as actually adequately tracking what sort of sales come from a particular lead. And is there a volume metric we're missing out on? Is there an industry metric we need to be knowing a lot more about? Do we sell a particular widget in a certain industry, perhaps in a certain region, better than others? Because the data, even if it exists, will exist in separate pots. And so it's difficult to kind of bring it together and coalesce some trends within that. 30% of respondents also quoted this idea of missed sales opportunity as significantly impacting their business. And another 19% of Sage Accounting users think about this idea of we need to get better at customer service. So that's fully a fifth of the correspondents or the respondents talk about this idea of we really should be better at looking after our customers. And I think in a world that we've been through in 2021 and the way the world is moving online and the way it's very easy, the shift of a mouse for a buyer to quickly look around and take a better advantage of what else is out there. If you're not looking after customers well enough, the friction to move for a buyer from one provider to the next gets lower and lower and lower as every month online passes. So it's worth thinking about. So why does this matter? This addition of CRM modular activity or modular capability, adding it to Sage Accounting, why does it matter and why do we need to talk strategically about this? Well, an interesting number of people who add CRM in the context of a finance system, a large number of the interest we receive, so the inbound leads we receive as a business, come from heads of finance. There's plenty of owner operators in there as well, but there's a lot of heads of finance that are coming to us. Now, in some fashion or in some respect, that's because people are already engaged with us as a Sage Accounting provider. So perhaps those heads of finance are coming to us. But I do think also we're seeing the rise of a more informed CFO, financial controller, financial director type persona, where they're looking to do more with the data. They're looking to be a bigger part of their business's growth, rather than just maybe the transaction engine in the back office. And that's we see an important route to market for us and an important way of thinking for you in terms of getting your stakeholders on board. Because perhaps what we're seeing through these particular people coming to us is companies are recognizing they're probably reasonably good at capturing some of the back-end demographic data, the industries we deal in, the size of company, what we sold them last year, this sort of thing, and then making sense of that in the line of the purchasing information. It is a very limited view of customer relationships. There is, as I mentioned earlier, no real connection to the marketing investment, the lead flow, the sales engagement, and that sort of thing. So there's a whole bunch of information missing, which even from a financial controller or owner operator or heads of department, even from their perspective, more useful data around cycle time on deals, length of product ownership, warranty periods coming due, all those sorts of things. They're all useful pieces of information to help your business be more focused beyond the normal accounting transactions. Have a look at this slide as well. This is interesting. Some of the reasons why material on this slide, and I'll pause a moment so you can have a quick read through it. You'll hopefully see that many of the needs expressed here and on the previous slides you've seen so far are very hard to address with just a simple accounting system alone. Think about that, maybe in the context of the questions that you receive as a head of or a financial person or any stakeholder in a business, can you answer the sorts of questions that are posed, like this slide, like the previous slides, with just a transactional tool alone? Because if you can't, and then we're starting to get into the realms of, well, why does CRM and how does CRM add more to just an accounting system? So it could be, if, for a few examples, if you talk about your sales teams, how many sales opportunities are being missed or not followed up on? Because either someone's just relying on their memory, they've got a spreadsheet that they forget to check every couple of weeks. How many actually track and manage opportunities and leads properly? Where did this come from? How long has it been in play? Did the lead come from a particular campaign? Can you answer these from your simple back office accounting system? How do salespeople prepare? Do they have any background information that should be kept somewhere that everyone has access to so we can all understand what's going on with this customer? Is it accurate? Is it up to date? And at the end of all that, how do the teams forecast the businesses coming in? Again, is it in someone's head? And why does that matter? Well, forecasting is very interesting from a financial perspective. Cash flow is impacted by sales forecasting. If you're relying on someone's memory, if you're relying on somebody just going, it'll be fine, and it's not, it can have an impact on particularly smaller businesses' cash flow. Wouldn't it be much better if you had a way of forecasting and tracking so that everyone could see that, but also over time, you build up a good stack of data about what is accurate forecasting? Is a particular person particularly good at it? Is a team much better than another team? Is a particular product much safer to forecast, and so on? And that's useful internal data that you can use to move forward in your business. Perhaps in your service team, how would you track and measure customer service call resolutions might be something. How would you measure customer satisfaction levels? How would you manage a particular process through to completion without missing anything on the way? And so on. So there's lots of useful questions, I think, as an owner-operator or a head of department to ponder to help you drive through your thinking on how CRM would work for your business. These are just a few of the proof points from our customers around the globe, and they're based from industries, from businesses in all sorts of shapes and sizes, small, large, in industries you've possibly never thought CRM would work for. And they're all speaking to this great idea that CRM delivers value by bringing together business critical information from marketing, sales, and service, as well as the financial back end, and bringing that all together, reliable, at a glance data, is very useful stuff. Businesses can be assured they'll be acting on the right information at the right time. It opens up data too, so employees can see and trust the data they work with, not have to shout across a room, virtual or otherwise, understanding that the data that is in one system is likely to be the correct data versus a spreadsheet they found lurking around a file share somewhere. And by putting processes in place that help you do better forecasting, as per my previous example, maybe better customer process management that are consistent, reliable, and also that the customers come to know that they are consistent and reliable, will help you be a better customer-focused business. And again, I ask, is that something you can do from your accounting back end? So you can see, I hope, from the proof points that CRM can be put to use in almost any industry, as I said earlier. The terms of organizing and tracking sales or delivering service or better visibility might be different in your industry, but essentially, as I noted earlier, every business goes through a process of acquiring, selling to, and looking after customers. We work and sell across nonprofit and membership-based organizations, tracking constituents, managing fundraising processes. We work in distribution, pick, pack, dispatch. We work in the legal profession, document management, case management, court bundling. We've even got customers in the funeral business, which is why when my colleagues and I build our roadmap for the future, we consider all sorts of personas in all sorts of ways and think how each and every feature we build and specify for future releases can be put to use inside of businesses of all shapes and sizes. That roadmap of features continues to extend and enhance Sage CRM well into the future. Software to enable marketing, sales and service, sharing information, managing interactions with every sort of business in whatever sector and every region you operate in. Over 17,000 people have put Sage CRM to use around the globe. We're pretty sure we could do something useful for you as well. So we're coming to the end of the session. I hope that's been interesting to you, and I hope if you're coming from a financial background, that you can think about the stakeholders you need to engage with and where you can make a start with CRM in your business. Don't forget too, there are additional sessions such as taking the first steps towards CRM and streamlining your business with Sage CRM, as well as further sessions on understanding the tool itself. So how you can make sense of the offer that is Sage CRM and how we can help you on the road to do much more than just track your financial information. Thanks for coming along. Bye for now.